Hey people, it's me, Thomas Winnefeld, and today I would like to talk to you about one of my favorite mass mediums of all time, video games. Now, I would say that video games are the most underappreciated pieces of media in at least the past decade, and I'm here just a small part to push the discourse forward and give video games the respect they deserve. Now, I know that the COVID-19 pandemic was hard for everyone, and I would like to take a look at the silver lining that video games gave me during the pandemic. Now, I will always associate the first few weeks of lockdown with one video game in particular, Half-Life Alyx. Now, the day the pandemic lockdown started for me was March 23rd, and that was the day that we were supposed to get back to school from spring break in Central High School. Now, unfortunately, COVID-19 brought a stop to that, and I never got to learn in person at high school ever again. But unfortunately, I had Half-Life Alyx to console me, and I was actually thinking of skipping that particular day if it wasn't canceled because I was so hyped for the game. We're keeping it down low for my high school teachers, okay? Now, if we take a look at my source here, Half-Life Alyx has a 98% positive rating on Steam, which is the platform which it is sold. And that reception is not undeserved. It's an amazing game. What it uses is the tactileness of your hands in virtual reality to actually interact with the environment using a controller in VR. And it was amazing. Like, you can draw on windows with Sharpies, and it's like you're actually drawing on real things. You can play a piano, you can juggle glass bottles, and all of it serves to make an engaging story while introducing new mechanics that are actually intuitive to people who have hands, and like that's the majority of the population, so I would call it an amazing game. It also has a lot of inclusivity options because you can play it with one hand, you can play it with color blindness, you can play it sitting down, you can play it standing up. It's just a very amazing game. Now, enough about my anecdotal experience. Let's talk about video games as a medium and what they provide to people. Now, one thing that video games undoubtedly provide is social interaction. Video games are amazing for this. With everyone coming together to solve a particular goal, it causes people who are normally introverted to really express themselves in different ways and stuff. Now, my birthday is April 14th, and that means that I have now spent 2 birthdays within a pandemic lockdown. And my 18th birthday was actually one of the most memorable birthdays that I have had because my friends and me all got on Roblox, which is a children's game, and we just had a lot of fun, and it was very it was one of my favorite memories of the pandemic. I appreciated a lot from my friends there. And video games are doing a lot of good in the world. Now, here's one of my other sources. If you've ever heard of Plague Incorporated, it is a video game where you artificially create a virus to kill off humanity. Now, Every time there's a real-life pandemic, be it Ebola or COVID-19, they get a lot of press, they get a lot of players, and they like to return back the favor. So early in the pandemic, they actually donated $250,000 to fight COVID-19 out of their own pocket to charity, and it's amazing. They also invented a new game mode where you stop a virus outbreak from infecting the populace. And they actually coordinated with the World Health Organization and CEPI, which is showing that there's a lot of real-world coordination within the video game movement that does a lot of good. Now, that doesn't mean video games are all good, of course. For example, video game addiction. I would call myself a functioning video game alcoholic. Now, I play a bit too much, I'll be honest, but that's one example of the negative aspects. So, in a 2011 study, we're referencing the textbook here, so take notes for the syllabus here. Yeah. That 8.5% of gamers in the US are addicted, this study says. Now, that is unfortunate, and I can completely understand it, because some video games are designed to be as addictive as nicotine, I would say. Now, for example, this game is called War Thunder. It is a free-to-play game, and it adds something that gamers are known as call a grind, and it kind of forces you to play to get the best vehicles that you can get, and it's really hooked me in, because currently I have 1,833.4 hours on this video game, and it has definitely contributed to some of the procrastination effects on my life. I'm sure that you're getting this late. I'm talking to you, teacher. And yeah, it probably wouldn't have happened if I didn't spend so much time investigating the medium that I am talking about today. Okay, now let's talk about one more positive aspect. I think we're running on time here. I want to keep it down. I don't want to overextend, obviously. So one more positive video game experience that I've had this pandemic was by Before Your Eyes. Now, Before Your Eyes is a video game that is controlled using your eyes. Have you ever heard the term, the life flashed before your eyes? Well, these people just took that concept and ran with it. So, the video game pretty much, encapsulates a person's life from birth to death through blinking. Now, biologically, you cannot keep your eyes open forever, and they use that biological limitation to its maximum effect. Now, the video game has it where every time you blink, you jump forward in time. And that means that you have to keep your eyes open as long as possible if you want to learn as much as possible. Now, they hide very important plot points behind your ability to keep your eyes open. And your eyes cannot be open forever. So it utilizes your human desire for knowledge and it turns it on its head because you have to utilize your blink power the best way you know how. Because I've had plenty of times where I kept my eyes open really long for an unimportant scene, and I actually blinked right after it jumped forward in time. So I skipped an entire point of this person's life. And it utilizes that ability very well to tell a very engaging story. I don't want to say too much because it's amazing and I don't want to spoil it. It's only $10 and it is on sale till May 23rd. So you can pick it up for only $8. Not sponsored. But it made me cry, and I'm a very stoked person. I don't cry a lot. It was the only fiction story that I have cried at this entire year. And it really showcases another strength of video games, the ability to arouse emotion within yourself. And I would like to say that that is possibly the greatest strength of video games to this day. And I just have to say it's definitely given me a positive spin on the COVID-19 pandemic. This is Thomas Winnefeld, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I get a good grade, and I hope you have a good night. Okay, see you people.